The beginner mom advantage. Nobody explains the coffee had gone cold again. Another morning balancing the noise of the house and the quiet questions she kept avoiding. Can I really build something of my own? The dishes could wait. The laundry could wait. But this feeling, this restless pull towards something more, it wouldn't. She wasn't chasing millions. She wasn't dreaming of corner offices or power suits. She just wanted freedom. The kind that fits between nap times and school pickups. The kind that didn't make her feel like she had to choose between being present and being herself. But every time she opened her laptop, the doubt crept in. Who is she to start a business? She had no degree in marketing, no network of investors, no polished LinkedIn profile. Just a cluttered kitchen table and a head full of ideas. She was too afraid to speak out loud. What she didn't know yet was that everything she thought made her unqualified was actually her greatest advantage. Most people starting a business begin with theory. They study markets. They analyze competitors. They build complex business plans that collect dust in digital folders. But moms start with problems. Real ones, the kind that wake you up at 3 in the morning and follow you through every grocery store aisle. She noticed it first on a Tuesday afternoon. Her daughter's lunchbox had leaked again, the third time that week. She'd tried every brand, every style, every leak-proof promise the internet could offer. Nothing worked. And in that moment of pure frustration, wiping juice off textbooks, something shifted. What if other parents were dealing with this too? The idea didn't come from a business book. It came from the mess on her kitchen table. And that's where most people miss the point entirely. They think business begins with innovation. But the most successful products don't create new needs. They solve old frustrations better than anyone else has bothered to. She started small, a few questions in a parent Facebook group. Does anyone else struggle with leaky lunchboxes? Within an hour, 47 comments. Stories of ruined backpacks, embarrassed kids, wasted food. The response wasn't just validation, it was a blueprint. According to recent studies, small home-based businesses led by women are growing 40% faster than other segments, not because of massive capital or corporate backing, but because of something far more valuable, intimate knowledge of an underserved market. Proof that clarity often beats capital. But knowing there's a problem and believing you can solve it are two very different things. Part of her still felt guilty for wanting more, as if ambition had to disappear when motherhood began. As if the choice was binary, either you pour everything into your kids or you're selfish. She'd internalized that narrative so deeply that even thinking about her own dreams felt like betrayal. Maybe success just wasn't meant for someone like her. Then came the doubt, the kind that whispers louder than failure. The voice that reminds you of every unfinished project, every idea that fizzled, every time you said someday and meant never. That voice knows exactly when to show up, right when you're on the edge of trying. What would you have done in her place? She almost gave up. The practical concerns felt insurmountable. Where would she find the time? How would she learn about e-commerce, shipping, inventory? She had no business experience, no savings to invest, no mentor to guide her. Just the stubborn sense that if she was this frustrated, someone else probably was too. So she did the only thing that made sense. She started where she was. No fancy business plan, no LLC paperwork, no custom website. She posted in the same Facebook group where she'd asked her initial question. I'm working on solving this problem. If I could create a lunch container system that actually worked, what would it need to have? The responses poured in. Parents didn't just want leak-proof. They wanted compartments that kept foods separated. They wanted containers kids could open themselves. They wanted something dishwasher-safe that didn't stain or smell after 3 uses. They wanted it all, and they were willing to pay for it. She took notes, lots of them. Then she did something most aspiring entrepreneurs never do. She asked one more question. If this existed, would you actually buy it? 63 people said yes. 12 asked where they could pre-order. She didn't have a product yet, but she had something better. She had proof. This is the part the business gurus don't tell you. You don't need a perfect idea. You don't need a revolutionary concept. You need a real problem and real people who want it solved. Everything else is just logistics. But logistics, as it turns out, can be learned. She spent her daughter's nap times researching manufacturers. She discovered platforms like Alibaba where she could order small batches without massive upfront costs. She learned about prototypes and samples. She made mistakes, ordered the wrong materials, miscalculated shipping costs, underestimated how long international orders would take. Each mistake felt like confirmation that she wasn't cut out for this. But here's what she began to understand slowly. Over weeks of small failures and smaller victories, being a beginner wasn't a disadvantage. It was practice in humility. And humility, in business, is what keeps you close to your customers. The corporate entrepreneurs, the ones with MBAs and venture capital, they often skip the most crucial step, listening. They build what they think people need based on data and projections. She built what she knew people needed because she'd lived it. She'd heard it. She'd felt the frustration in her own hands. Sometimes growth doesn't look like progress. Sometimes it looks like staying curious, staying humble. Staying connected to the problem even when the solution feels impossibly far away. Her first prototype arrived on a Thursday. She opened the package with shaking hands, half expecting disappointment. The containers were close, not perfect, but close. The seal worked, the compartments made sense, but the material felt too flimsy, and the latch was harder to open than she'd hoped. She posted photos in the group with brutal honesty. Here's what I've got so far. What needs to change? The feedback was immediate and specific. Make the latch softer. Reinforce the bottom corners. Add a small vent to prevent vacuum seal issues. She went back to the manufacturer with changes. This cycle repeated 3 more times. Each iteration cost money she didn't really have. Each delay tested her resolve. But with every adjustment, the product got better. Not because she was a design genius, but because she was willing to be wrong and learn publicly. This is the advantage nobody explains. Moms are used to being wrong, used to adjusting, used to the humbling daily reality that what worked yesterday might not work today. That flexibility, that constant recalibration, it's not a weakness. It's the core skill of successful entrepreneurship. By the time she had a product she was proud of, something unexpected had happened. The Facebook group had become a community. People weren't just waiting for her lunch containers, they were rooting for her. They'd watched her struggle. They'd contributed ideas. They'd become invested in her success because it felt like their success too. When she finally launched, she didn't need fancy marketing. She had something better: advocates, real people who'd been part of the journey and wanted to see it succeed. Her first batch of 200 units sold out in 4 days. She cried. Not because of the money, though that certainly helped. She cried because, for the first time in years, she felt like herself again. Not just a mom, not just a wife, not just someone's daughter or sister or friend. She felt like someone who could create, who could solve, who could build something from nothing but frustration and determination. Her workspace was still her kitchen counter. Her office hours were still dictated by school schedules and pediatrician appointments. But it no longer felt like chaos. It felt like possibility. The business grew, but not in the way she'd imagined. She didn't quit her role as a mom to become an entrepreneur. She integrated them. Her kids saw her work, saw her fail, saw her adjust and try again. They learned that dreams don't require permission, just persistence and a willingness to start imperfectly. She began to understand something crucial about the so-called beginner disadvantage. Yes, she didn't have formal business training, but she also didn't have the bad habits that come with it. She didn't overcomplicate, she didn't get paralyzed by analysis. She didn't mistake planning for action. She just solved one problem at a time. And isn't that what motherhood trains you to do every single day? The advantage of being a beginner mom in business isn't about having more time or resources. It's about having developed a specific kind of intelligence that most business schools don't teach. The ability to identify real needs, stay flexible under pressure, and build genuine relationships with the people you're serving. It's about understanding that perfection is the enemy of progress. That launching something imperfect and improving it with real feedback is infinitely more valuable than planning something perfect that never sees the light of day. It's about knowing, deep in your bones, that you don't need to have all the answers before you start. You just need to have one good question and the courage to find out if anyone else is asking it too. What helped her most wasn't just finding the right manufacturer or learning about social media marketing. It was realizing she didn't need permission to start small. She'd spent so long waiting for the right moment, the right skills, the right circumstances. But the right moment was simply the moment she decided to try. She smiled not because it was easy, but because it was finally hers. Now, when she meets other moms who mention they've been thinking about starting something, she tells them the truth. Not the Instagram version with perfect lighting and motivational quotes. The real version, the one with cold coffee and self-doubt and prototypes that arrive wrong and kids who need help with homework right when you're trying to finish an important email. She tells them it's messy and hard and sometimes you'll wonder why you started. But she also tells them this: that uncomfortable space between who you are and who you're becoming, that's not a sign you're failing. That's where all growth happens. The mistake isn't starting without experience. The mistake is waiting until you feel experienced enough to start, because that feeling never comes. Experience isn't something you wait for. It's something you build, one imperfect step at a time. When she poured her coffee the next morning, it was still hot. Not because her life had suddenly become less chaotic, not because her kids needed her less or the laundry did itself, but because this time, she wasn't rushing through her own life, waiting for permission to want something for herself. She was building, slowly, imperfectly, beautifully. And if there's one thing she wishes someone had told her at the beginning, it's this: your ordinariness is your advantage. The fact that you're not a tech genius or a marketing expert or someone with a trust fund and connections, that's not what's holding you back. That's what will set you apart. Because you'll build something real for real people. You'll stay humble because you have to. You'll listen because you're still learning, and you'll create something that actually matters because it mattered to you first. The beginner mom advantage isn't about having special skills or secret knowledge. It's about being willing to start anyway, about trusting that the problem you've noticed is worth solving, about believing that your perspective shaped by the daily reality of caring for others while trying not to lose yourself has value in the marketplace. It's about understanding that business isn't some separate realm that requires transformation into someone you're not. It's just problem solving at scale. And if there's anything motherhood prepares you for, it's solving problems with whatever resources you have. Under impossible time constraints, with limited sleep and infinite love. That's not a disadvantage. That's a superpower. Disclaimer: this content is for educational purposes only and does not replace consultation or assistance from a professional. Always consult a qualified professional for any questions related to finance, business, or investments. Tell us what part of her story resonated with you most and where you're watching from. Your journey might just inspire the next one. Tell us which country or city you're watching from. See you in the next video. Bye.